Rockefeller Method is something you have to start young. That belief is wrong. The risk isn't that you'll be too old. The risk is that you'll be too sick. At their peak, the Vanderbilts had more money than the United States Treasury. Are you too old to use the Rockefeller Method? Today, we're answering one of the most common questions I get from people who discover the Rockefeller Method. And that question is, am I too old to start? Maybe you're in your 50s, maybe your 60s, maybe you've spent the last decade building real wealth and someone finally told you about this strategy and the first thing you thought was, I wish I'd known this sooner. Here's the common belief. The Rockefeller Method is something you have to start young. And it's a strategy built for 30-year-olds with decades of runway ahead of them. That if you're past a certain age, the window is closed. But that belief is wrong. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why. Because the real question was never how old you are. The real question is, how is your policy designed? Now that distinction alone has changed the financial trajectory of virtually every client I've ever worked with who came to me thinking they had already missed their shot. I'm Westervelt, the Chief Executive Officer of Wealth Factory. We've helped thousands of entrepreneurs and families build generational wealth using the same strategies the ultra-wealthy have quietly used for over a century. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what changes as you get older and what doesn't, and what you can do right now, regardless of where you're starting from. So let's get into it. The real question isn't age, it's design. Here's what most people get wrong about the Rockefeller Method. They treat it like a race, like there's a starting gun, and if you weren't at the line and it went off, you lost. But the Rockefeller Method isn't a race, it's a system. And systems can be entered into at different points and still work, as long as they are designed correctly for where you're entering. Think about it this way. If you hired a contractor to build you a house, the blueprint would look different depending upon the lot you're building on. The foundation might be deeper, the materials might be different, but you're still building a house. You're still going to live in it, and you're still going to pass it on. The Rockefeller Method works the very same way. The permanent life insurance component, which is the engine of the whole strategy, can be designed differently based on your age, your goals, and your timeline. And the design is everything. This is actually where most people get burned. They hear about whole life insurance and they go talk to someone who doesn't understand the strategy, and they get sold a policy that's designed for maybe a 30-year-old to maximize cash value over 40 years. That's not the right design for a 58-year-old who wants to protect and transfer wealth. Bad design doesn't mean the strategy failed. It means the blueprint was wrong for the lot. Let's use me as an example. I am currently 64 years old, and I'm going to live another 60 years. That's a different video. At 64 years old, though, I have minimal options because of my age. Just as recently as 4 years ago, when I was 59 years old, I decided I wanted to get another life insurance policy. Step number one is to be healthy enough to be able to do that. And I am very blessed because I work very hard on my health, and I got a preferred rating on this particular policy. But then the next challenge is this. As a 59-year-old at the time, how much time do I have to put money in there? And what is the maximum amount I can put in there? We talked about the 30-year-old that maybe doesn't have as much money to put in a policy. I'm an individual, a little more accomplished in my career, my life. I can put a little more in that policy. So I sat down, worked with an individual that actually knows design of these policies better than I do, and they help me structure a program, a system, a policy that allowed me to put the maximum amount of funding into that policy and still have the life and legacy protection that I was looking for. The right design for someone later in life shifts the emphasis. Instead of maximizing cash value accumulation over decades, you're maximizing death benefit efficiency. You're protecting the wealth you've already built. You're creating a tax-free transfer vehicle. You're building the family bank, not from scratch, but from where you already are. And it works at 50, 60, 70, as long as you have your health. We'll come back to the health piece in a minute because it really does matter. But first, let me show you the clearest way I know to explain what actually changes as you get older. The design piece is critical, but here's where it gets even more interesting, because the way age actually does impact this strategy isn't what most people expect. Let me show you. I want you to think about mortgages for a second. When you take out a mortgage, you can choose your term. You can do it in 15 years, 30 years, or, and I know if this makes sense, some people are uncomfortable, even 50 years. Now, what's the difference between a 15-year and a 30-year mortgage? The monthly payment on a 15 years is higher because you're compressing the same purchase into a shorter window. A 30-year has a lower payment because you have more runway to spread it all out. Permanent life insurance works almost the very same way. When you're younger, the insurance company looks at your age and says, this person has a long time horizon. We'll spread this out over 30 or 40 years. Your premiums can be low. Your cash value builds slowly but compounds beautifully over time. When you're older, the insurance company says this person has a shorter time horizon to death. We need to price this accordingly. Your premiums are higher relative to your death benefit. You're essentially on a 15-year mortgage. But here's the thing nobody tells you about the 15-year mortgage. You own the house faster. The equity builds faster. The asset is yours sooner. The legacy is in place quicker. That's not a penalty. That's a trade-off. And for the right person with the right goals, that trade-off is absolutely worth it. Using my personal example that we talked about earlier, that was a great way for me to learn and understand how much cash can be accumulated in a condensed amount of time. Yes, I had to make the commitment to make a larger premium payment, and I had to make a commitment to put additional dollars in there. But once I decided what the correct amount was for my budget, it just took off so quickly after that in growing the cash value of that policy. But for this time in my life, I could make that work. When I was 30 years old, I could not have. But I had a policy when I was 30 years old. It was what I could afford at the time. Now, within this framework, there's another level that most people have never heard of, and it's called paid-up additions. And this is where the policy design really comes alive. A paid-up addition is essentially extra premium you can put into the policy on top of the base. And the key thing about paid-up additions is that the majority of the money goes directly into your cash value, not into buying more death benefit from day one. So if you're older and want to maximize the cash value side of the equation, the living benefits, the family bank, the capital you can access, paid-up additions is how you will do that. If you're older and your primary goal is legacy and transfer, you optimize for death benefit instead. Two different designs, two different goals. Both valid, both powerful, neither one is the wrong answer. The only wrong answer is getting a policy designed for the wrong objective. Now, I want to make this real with a story because the mortgage analogy explains the mechanics, but what I really want you to see is what this actually looks like in somebody's life. I want to tell you about a client, and I see versions of the story more than you think. She came to us in her early 70s, very healthy, sharp. She spent her whole life being responsible with her money, owned a modest home, had some savings, taken care of by her family, but she hadn't done this. She hadn't set up the insurance piece, and she was convinced, absolutely convinced, that she had waited too long. Well, we sat her down, and with the help of our professional network member, they walked her through her age, her goals, and they connected her with partners who designed a policy that was weighted heavily towards death benefit, limited cash value accumulation, because with her timeline, that wasn't the primary objective. The objective was legacy. She passed away in her early 80s. Her home at that point was worth less than $40,000. The death benefit that went to her heirs, nearly 10 times that. Now, was it the same as if she started in her 40s? No. She would have had more cash value. She would have had more flexibility. The runway would have been even longer. But did it work? Absolutely. Did it change what her family inherited? Completely. That is the Rockefeller Method at work. Not in ideal conditions, not with a 30-year head start, but in real life, starting where she was. So we've established that it's about design, not age. We've shown you what actually changes, and we've shown you it work in real life. But there's one thing I haven't told you yet, and that's the one thing that actually can close the window. It's important we talk about that. I told you earlier that health matters. Here's why. Life insurance at its core requires that the insurance company assess the risk. And the primary way to do that is through your health. Age affects your premiums. Age affects your policy design. But age alone does not disqualify you, but health can. If you have serious pre-existing conditions, certain heart issues, or organ transplants, some cancers, getting a policy becomes significantly harder, sometimes impossible. The underwriting process exists for a reason, and some conditions will limit your options or close them entirely. This is actually one of the most important reasons not to wait. Not because you're getting too old, but because every year that passes is a year where your health could change in a way that takes the option completely off the table. Think about that for a second. The risk isn't that you'll be too old, the risk is that you'll be too sick. This is why the Rockefeller families didn't wait. The Rockefellers put a policy on every heir within 30 days of their birth. Not because the 30-day-old has decades of premium payments to be made, but because that's the moment when insurability is guaranteed. You can't guarantee your health tomorrow. You can act on it today. So if you're watching this and you're in good health right now, 50, 60, 70, the window isn't closed. But the most important thing you can do is stop thinking about it and start moving. Now, I want to zoom out for a second because everything we've talked about so far is the insurance piece of the Rockefeller Method. But the Rockefeller Method is bigger than insurance. And the age question actually becomes even less relevant when you see the full picture. Let me tell you about the Vanderbilts. At their peak, the Vanderbilts had more money than the United States Treasury. I'm even going to say that again. More money than the U.S. Treasury. At 54 years after Cornelius Vanderbilt died, 54 years, the first Vanderbilt died broke. Within a generation after that, the wealth was essentially gone. Mansions were sold off, land liquidated, estates turned into museums. How does a family go from more money than the U.S. government to nothing in 2 generations? They didn't use trusts to protect and pass on their assets. They didn't use insurance to create a perpetual family bank. They didn't invest in preparing their heirs to be stewards of their wealth. They didn't build a family constitution that spelled out the values, the rules, the mission. They just spent it. Now here's what I want you to notice. These failures had nothing to do with age. Cornelius Vanderbilt didn't fail because he was too old to start. He failed because he never built a system. And that's the real lesson here. The Rockefeller Method isn't just an insurance strategy. It's a complete wealth architecture. It's trusts that protect and transfer your assets. It's insurance that creates a perpetual family bank. It's a family office approach that keeps your financial team coordinated and working together. It's a family constitution that turns your values into a living document your heirs can actually follow. You can start building that architecture at any age. The trust component has no age requirement. The family constitution has no age requirement. The family retreat has no age requirement. The coordination of your financial team has no age requirement. The insurance piece has an age and a health component, but as we've covered, it's far more flexible than most people assume. The Vanderbilts had all the money in the world, but no system. You might be starting later than you'd like, but if you build the system now, you are already ahead of where you ever were. So let's bring this all the way home. Are you too old to use the Rockefeller Method? The answer is no. The real question was never your age. It was your design. It was your health. It was whether you're going to build a system or keep assuming you've missed your shot. Here's what we covered today. The Rockefeller Method is a design strategy, and the right design for someone in their 50s or 60s looks different than somebody in their 30s, but it works just as powerfully as when it's built correctly. Age changes the trade-offs between cash value and death benefit. It doesn't eliminate either one. Health is the real clock that's ticking here, not your birthday. In the full Rockefeller Method trust, family constitution, coordinated financial strategy, these have no expiration date at all. The Vanderbilts had more money than the U.S. Treasury and lost it all because they had no system. You have the opportunity to build the system right now. If you want to go deeper on everything we talked about today, the trust, the insurance design, the family bank, and all of it, we put it all together in our book, What Would Billionaires Do? It walks you through the full framework and in a way that you can actually implement. I'll put the link in the description. And if you're ready to stop wondering whether you've missed your window and actually start building, reach out to our team at Wealth Factory. We'll show you exactly what the right design looks like from where you are at right now. Thank you for watching. Drop a comment and tell me, what's the one thing holding you back from starting this? We'll see you on the